It's hard not to look at what happened with the Browns in their preseason finale versus the Rams and see warning signs. On the surface, a highly touted rookie quarterback in Deion Sanders gets his chance. Then things go off the rails. The coach benches him late for the veteran. The linemen protecting him are either weak or disjointed. The optics suggest the rookie is being thrown into a sink or swim scenario. And now, with the regular season looming, you sense a repeat. The last 4 games? Garbage time, plug-in opportunity players, fading team energy, and Sanders left holding the bag. The preseason debacle. What happened? Sanders, a rookie signal caller, was inserted into the 3rd and 4th units in the Browns' preseason game against the Rams. He completed just 3 of 6 passes for 14 yards and was sacked multiple times. NFL.com, Coach Stefanski admitted he pulled Sanders from the 2-minute drive, handing it to veteran Tyler Huntley instead. The plan was to go with Snoop, Huntley, there, Stefanski said. CBS Sports. What stands out? Sanders didn't know he was out. I didn't know. I was on a bike. I was powering up for that 2-minute drive, he said. CBS Sports. Then the Browns cut several offensive linemen who had protected Sanders. Fans cried foul. Did they give Sanders a fighting chance or stack the deck against him? TalkSport. These aren't isolated events. They're signals, especially for a rookie QB, that the development plan isn't, give him every chance. It's, let him fail, let him learn, and we'll move forward anyway. The pattern. Last 4 games equals setup for failure. Here's how the pattern looks. Playing with inferior pieces. The typical rookie QB development roadmap is: give him solid protection, reps with the first team, meaningful run game, simplified reads, confidence-building opportunities. What we saw instead: Sanders playing behind 3rd-string units, weak protection, sacks and 3-and-outs. That's not mentoring, that's exposure. By giving him garbage games at the end of the season, when starters are resting, opportunity players are in, morale is low, the coach can point to, well, he played, he struggled, and move on. Timing is everything. The last 4 games of a season are when teams often begin pivoting to next year. Starters are rested, backups and young players work in. If Sanders gets his reps in that window, it's not so much, we believe in him now, as, we're done with this year. The message is, here's your chance, kid. Not to win, but to cut your teeth. Don't embarrass yourself. It's a subtle but important difference. Win with me, versus, go ahead, we've checked out already. Once the team mentally checks out, the rookie gets thrown under the bus. When coaching staffs decide the season is essentially over, 2 things happen: preparation and energy drop. The coaches start looking ahead, not optimizing current games. In that environment, handing the reins to a rookie can look like, we're giving you a chance, but realistically it's, we're off the hook anyway. If the team gives up on the season, the rookie becomes a scapegoat or a footnote instead of a rising asset. Mixed messaging to the rookie and the fans. Stefanski has publicly said he's committed to Sanders' development. NFL.com. But his actions say something different. Limited reps with first team, being inactive or emergency option on game day, playing in situations where pressure is low but expectation is high. Fans sense the disconnect, hence the narrative, set up to fail. TalkSport. Why this matters so much for Sanders. The stakes are huge. The Browns drafted him, in the 5th round, thinking he has big potential. But if you launch his career in a sink or swim mode with limited support, you risk. He develops bad habits, e.g., forced plays, panicky reads. His confidence erodes early. He becomes a project, rather than a viable starter. The fanbase loses faith. The narrative becomes, he couldn't handle it, rather than, we didn't give him the tools. For the coach and the team, this strategy offers covers. We gave him reps. Right-pointing arrow check. He struggled in late games with backups and opportunity players. Right-pointing arrow check. Well, Now we're building for next year. Right pointing arrow check, but is that a development strategy, or a cover your ass strategy? The argument. Stefanski is playing the long game, except the rookie doesn't know it. One could argue. Maybe Stefanski is protecting Sanders. Maybe he wants to gradually build him up. But that doesn't square with the details. Why throw him into preseason units with weak protection? Why pull him from the 2-minute drive when the game is on the line? Why position him as an emergency third option, not an upcoming starter? Why not give him an entire game or a half with meaningful players in defense? The way it looks is, Sanders is being placed in games that matter little, right when the team is starting to check out, so that any underperformance is expected and doesn't destroy the main narrative of the season. The secondary narrative becomes, the future is Sanders, but we're not ready now. The outcome, he enters next year already behind. The 4-game window. What could happen? Assume the Browns get past the midpoint of the season and decide they're not playoff bound. They begin rotating in backups, opportunity players, and drop many starters. That window becomes prime time for Sanders, but with a big caveat. The team isn't trying to win, the team is trying to evaluate and future-proof. If Sanders is handed the keys during that span, here's what likely happens. He plays with backups, special teams starters, and in mismatched scenarios. He has to lead an offense without rhythm or cohesion. The defense is likely weak, the opponents might still be trying. Losses stack up, stats look bad, fans grumble. The team says, see, he's not ready, or we weren't supporting him properly, or that was developmental time. If the team does check out mentally, the we're already planning 2026 mindset, then Sanders becomes a sacrificial lamb rather than a launchpad. The subtle fail-safe. For the team, here's the thing. You give a rookie QB a chance in garbage games, limited help, and the team doesn't expect to win. Then when he struggles, you say, well, he got his shot, it didn't go perfectly, we're still building. You protect the coach and protect the organization's continuity. You maintain that you're not ready to hand over the keys yet, even if you drafted the guy. Meanwhile, the rookie gets less leverage, less support, fewer chances next year. The team can pivot to veteran or other option, sell him as not ready, and move on. But the optics. Are fans seeing through it? Yes, the fanbase has flagged this. For example, Shedeur was done dirty this week. The Browns cutting 4 of 5 linemen protecting a rookie QB like Deion Sanders is reckless. That's not development, that's sabotage. TalkSport. And there's some Bulls tea going on right now, clearly. Stefanski hates Shedeur. Former Pro Bowl lineman, PFSN. When players themselves start calling it sabotage, it means trust has broken. Whether or not Stefanski has malicious intent, the structure sends the message. Sanders is not being set up to succeed. He's being set up to absorb the pain of exposure so the organization can pivot. What Sanders could do, and what should have been done, if I were advising Deion Sanders and his camp, here's what I'd recommend. Demand meaningful first-team practice reps now. Being third string isn't enough. When given game reps, strongly insist on a meaningful scenario. First-team players, realistic down and distance, not purely, we're testing you, situations. Clarify with the coaches. Is the team backing you to win or just to learn? That distinction matters immensely. Use the 4-game window to show leadership, poise, clutchability, even if the support is thin. Make plays that overcome weak protection, bad snaps, and miscommunication. That will force the narrative in your favor. Build allies in the locker room, show maturity, show willingness to take hits but bounce back. Because if the team decides to move on, you'll need that goodwill. From the organization's side, if the goal is actually to develop Sanders into a franchise QB, other things should happen. Give him a full half or full game with the starters, not just mop-up time. Protect him with a decent O-line, scheme advantage, and play calls suited for a rookie. Don't just throw him to the wolves. Publicly commit to him, not just, "we'll consider him." Show confidence, accountability, and structure. Avoid sending the mixed message of, "we're developing you," while giving you the worst situations to fail in. The danger ahead if the last 4 games become what I predict: garbage time, weak teammates, little prep, little support. Then the narrative will be, "Sanders flamed out under pressure, he's not ready." That undercuts his rookie contract year, his confidence, his fanbase support, and his future leverage. On the flip side, Stefanski and the Browns get to walk away with, "We gave him some reps, he didn't take full advantage, we'll shift direction." No risk to the main QB plan. No accountability for the developmental mishandling. And the real danger: the team may indeed give up. They may mentally check out. Once a team is out of contention, chemistry fades, motivation drops, practice intensity dips, injuries ripple. In that scenario, Sanders is entering the worst possible developmental environment. Conclusion: in essence, I believe Kevin Stefanski is, intentionally or not, placing Shedeur Sanders in a fragile developmental path. One that looks like opportunity but in fact is a setup for failure. The preseason game versus the Rams laid bare the structure: rookie QB, weak protection, limited trust, pulled at the last minute. The signal now is clear: you'll play when we're ready to check out. You'll lead when the rest of the team isn't trying to win. If Sanders is to avoid this trap, the coming 4 games must be treated as meaningful opportunities, not disposable experiments. The Browns must decide: are they building for 2026 with Sanders as the centerpiece? Or are they holding him at bay, giving him enough rope to hang himself? Because right now, it looks like the latter. And that's the problem. Because for a quarterback, development isn't just about reps, it's about context, club support, teammates, protection, preparation, and belief. Without those, you're not launching a franchise, you're launching a scapegoat. If Stefanski continues this path, the risk is clear. Shedeur Sanders will enter his second season already behind, already labeled, not ready, and the Browns will have given up. And with the 4 remaining games becoming a symbolic exit ramp rather than a launch platform, we may already be witnessing the first chapter of a stalled career, not the rise of a star.